Hello.
Hello, how are you, Ewan? How's your week been?
Oh my goodness. It has been super duper fantastic. I am so glad that we are back together again. The speakeasy
Um,
doors have been closed for too long, Cassandra.
What made you smile this week?
What made me smile this week? Well,
Mm-hmm.
so much. So much.
Mm-hmm.
What made me smile? Do you know what made me smile most this week? I think it was the fact that the weather has got consistently nice here. And I
Sure.
just feel like it has lifted the spirits. How about you?
Mm, absolutely. I love that. It's been a full week over here, and in the best way. It's like you said, the weather in the southeast is shaping up. Pollen season's about over, so that's good.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I,
we're
I
really doing
literally
it.
have my allergy medication right next to me just in case.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Absolutely.
It's
I
been
take
a
my Zyrtec
it's been
every
a
day.
wild journey on the pollen
Indeed.
train.
In the
Well,
pollen
I'm glad
train.
that we're here and we're back together again and we're not sneezing. So that's
We are
good.
not. And before we
Woo.
dive into this week's conversation, let's check in. How did our most recent Friday Courage Challenge land for you? As a reminder, the challenge was asking the question, what feels unclear or challenging about this right now?
Well, I loved that challenge and I
Mm-hmm.
went with it. I went with it. And luckily, I had a fantastic team to roll with it with me.
Okay.
I'm so glad because we actually were asking this very question in one of the workshops that we ran this week with the fabulous team at the Langham Hotel in Chicago. And I'm so glad that we were able to ask this question because a lot of good things came out of it.
Okay.
Um, we were asking that question around how can we make our department priorities even clearer so that everybody buys into it, not just us and the
Mm,
executive team, but how do we make sure that our expectations of what our priorities are in our department actually land with our team? And we did it through what I call our give a damn filter. So our give a damn filter is something that we do in our clarity workshops as part of Spark, and essentially it just asks you the question or forces you as a leader to ask the question: Do my team actually give a damn about this mission, this goal, this priority as much as I do? And I think it's a really useful
mm,
filter to kind of put things through. But in true figure fashion, there's a bit of meaning behind damn. So
of
we taught them
course.
this great framework, and it's just a set of questions that you
Mm-hmm.
ask yourself. So, of course, we love an acronym in learning and development. So, DAM
Mm,
is definitive. Is it very clear? Is it crystal clear? Is it concrete? Do people know what your priority statement is? Is it actionable? So, can you actually do it? And most importantly, the question that we get people to ask is, when will you know you're winning? Like, when will you know you've
mm,
won? Which I love.
yeah. Yeah.
Measurable. Can you measure the
Okay.
success? Like, what will success look like, and
Mm-hmm.
how will you be able to tangibly tell that it's working?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then these are my most important ones. Is it memorable? Is the way that you're communicating your priority, the change, the mission statement, whatever it is it fun to say and remember, and people going to actually buy into it? And
Mm-hmm.
then last but not least, mission. Is it mission driven? So is it
Mm,
is it your priority or your goal? Is it tying into the wider mission of the property, the hotel in this case, or the brand or the company? So it helps you to make sure that your priorities are actually helping to contribute to the wider priorities or the bigger priorities. So there you go. We took our challenge and we ran with it. And I'm so glad that we got to work with that fabulous team at the
mm.
Langham Chicago this week. Got them to give a damn about their communication of their priorities. And it's been so much fun to be able to do that with them. How about you? How did you tackle the challenge?
Oh, Ewan, that is so damn good.
Hey! There she goes. Straight off
Oh.
with the puns, right out the gate.
I used the challenge this week in Charleston. I had the pleasure of having coffee with a colleague and asked the question, what does success look like? That question completely shifted the conversation and it really grounded everything in the rest of how we navigated that discussion. Because honestly, the idea of clarity becomes even more important when things are changing around you. And the one thing we know for sure about life is that change we can always count on happening.
Mm-hmm.
So let's build on that.
You can guarantee.
That's right. We're talking about adaptability in this week's Speakeasy, how leaders navigate change, how they stay grounded when things feel uncertain, and how they actually help their teams move with change instead of resisting change.
Yes, and we are going to get into how adaptability isn't just about reacting quickly.
Right.
It's about helping people to make sense of what's changing around them and what that truly means for them. So why don't you kick things off, Cassandra, by sharing who we are for anyone joining us at the Speakeasy for the very first time today?
Absolutely. Welcome, everyone, to Spark Squared Speakeasy, the leadership conversation that you were not meant to overhear, served up like a casual pub chat for leaders. I am Cassandra Sparks, your go-to pro for sparking authentic motivation and bold AF moves. I'm here with the incredible, the incomparable, the amazing Ewan.
Oh my goodness, that's me. I'm Ewan, the founder of Figgery, and I am here with the equally incomparable, equally spectacular, equally glistening Cassandra Sparks. I am the founder of Figgery Learning, where we make workplace learning actually work. Who knew?
That's so great. I know. Folks, pull up a chair. This is honest, real talk about leadership in real life. Let's get into it. The Speakeasy doors are open.
Welcome, everyone. And I have got my bold take ready for you. So let's dive into today's topic and talk about navigating change. So let's talk about one of the fastest ways to shake up a team, new leadership. Right?
Gasp.
When you are new, I know, right? And when we were talking about what we talk about today, and we went through kind of the structure of our podcast, I was really like having PTSD about when I first like took on my bigger leadership roles. So I'm gonna have to this is gonna be like therapy for me today. Okay,
great.
Do a little.
That's the whole point.
Thank you for listening. Okay, so new boss walks in, new expectations,
oh dear,
new energy, and suddenly everyone in the team is recalibrating. And whether it's said out loud or not, the reality is that every single person is probably asking themselves the same question. What the hell just changed, and how is this going to impact me?
Oh, so true. Yes. And that question right there, that's the moment where adaptability either happens or it doesn't. Because people are adjusting to a new strategy and they're adjusting to a new definition of what success means and what that looks like. They're trying to figure out who gets recognized. They're trying to figure out how decisions get made and what good actually looks like now under this new leadership. So when all of that is muddled or unclear, people don't lean in. No. They lean back, they hesitate, and they become unclear and uncertain.
Absolutely agree with that. And I think that I have got so many lived experiences of that exact thing happening. And listen, I'm going to hold my hands up and I'm going to say, as a new leader, that is exactly what I did. I viscerally remember being pulled into my manager's office and being told, yo, chill the beep out. Calm down. Take a breath. You cannot change everything overnight. You need your people to trust you.
Mm.
And that desire as a new leader to prove yourself and
Mm-hmm.
through no malice or bad intention, you want to prove yourself to your new team, to your new peers, to your new bosses that you can do this. So you do it by going in gung ho, feet first, and trying to change everything at once.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And your team is just left trying to keep up, trying
Mm-hmm.
to go, I don't quite know where the goalpost is anymore. Like what I thought I knew how to do my job, and now all of a sudden I'm coming in on Monday morning and I'm thinking, what is my job anymore? And
Yep.
I think that is just such a daunting place for any team member to have to be, where they don't quite know what the expectations or the drive or the priorities or the goals of this
Mm-hmm.
new regime, this new leadership is actually looking for. So they
Mm-hmm.
constantly are living under this question of, am I going to get corrected? Is
Right.
everything I thought I knew, everything I thought was correct before, suddenly now no longer correct?
Yeah. Right? Everyone's kind of like tiptoeing around, observing with these big owl eyes, and they're in this
Right.
quiet survival mode where they're asking themselves in their head or praying and crossing their fingers, like, let me not mess this up while I figure out what the new rules are and how to navigate them.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the reality when that happens, that survival mode that I love
Mm-hmm.
is, or don't love it, but I love that you said it,
Mm-hmm.
is the
Right.
that that is a huge risk for
Mm-hmm.
leaders, especially new leaders, because when your team are in survival modes, they're in that mindset, they're almost in that self-preservation mode.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get the best of them, right? It's going to be very, very hard for them to thrive and grow and succeed in that quite oppressive environment. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
that's unfair. So I really, I really think that when you put them into that mindset, you don't get the best behaviors or the best out of your team, but you just
Mm-hmm.
get their safest behavior. They just protect themselves by kind of working to rule or whatever the old rule was.
That's right. That's exactly right. And safe doesn't necessarily mean bold. So here's the bold take.
Oh,
In
I love
moments
it. We
of
have a bold
leadership,
take, everybody.
of course we do. In moments of leadership change, when you're thinking about that, your job isn't to move fast. Rather, it's to make meaning fast. What does that mean? So, to answer the question for your team right away before they have to guess, what's changed and what does that mean for you? That question's so powerful because the best leaders, they make their expectations visible and clear. They normalize an adjustment period and say, like, this is going to take time to figure out and we're all going to get there. And they give people permission to lean into and learn that new rhythm.
Mm, I love that. And I think the reality is that clarity creates confidence. When people
Yes,
know that their expectations are clear, they're going to be confident in those expectations and they're going to deliver on it, right?
that's exactly right. Because when people feel confident in who they need to be at work, how they need to show up, and what they need to do, they can then adapt to where they need to go to deliver and to
Mm,
rise up to that standard that they want to be at or are used to being at. And it might look and feel a little bit different than the standard before under previous leadership, but because they've understood what the change means, what's changed and what does that mean for them, they have the tools to rise up to that challenge.
right. Was it, I could be wrong here. My
Hmm.
ability to read books is not as good as others, but was it Simon Sinek that said, start with a Y? Was that Simon Sinek?
Perhaps, sure. Yeah, I'm not
Let's go
exactly
with it.
sure.
Mr. Cynic, if you're out there and I am misattributing a quote to you, I apologize profusely. Please do not sue us. We are but a small podcast just trying to inspire. But whether it was you, Mr. Cynic, or some other marvelous mind, um, that start with the why kind of
Mm-hmm.
resonates with what you just said there about
Yeah.
people being able to adapt. If you start with the why and help people to understand why this is an important change or this is an important thing that
Mm-hmm.
we're all embarking upon together as a team, I
Mm-hmm.
think that people are far more likely to get on board, far more likely or willing to change or to adapt or to flex into
Mm-hmm.
it and lean into it and buy into it, so that you as a leader are not having to work so hard. You don't have to drag people along with you, but
Mm-hmm.
because you've clearly articulated the why beforehand, set the goalposts, set the parameters, set the guardrails, people are now going to be willing to kind of try it out the water, test the water, dip their toe in. Let's see, maybe he's right or she's right.
That's
Anyway,
right.
here's my thoughts.
I, I,
Okay,
I
anyway, here's.
completely agree. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm glad.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of you know is that me and Cassandra never agree on anything. We spend our entire time arguing about stuff. I mean, what me and Cassandra agree on is far outweighed by the things that we have. Just the absolute, you wouldn't believe the arguments that the two of us have. Wild. For those of you that know Cassandra, she gets feisty. I mean,
she's got a little sass to her.
she got spark.
She's got spark and sass.
Anyway, shall I move on?
Okay, go ahead.
There was a little fluff in the middle of the podcast. Right,
I love
anyhow,
it.
moving on. Here's where this gets even more layered, because for a lot of teams, it's not just about one moment of change, right? It's constant. There is one thing in life we can guarantee, it is change.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, the same question arises that we've already spoken about.
Mm-hmm.
What just changed?
Mm-hmm.
And how the hell is it gonna impact me?
Mm-hmm.
But this time it hits a little bit differently, because the change has already been embedded, and this is layered change. It's continuing.
That's right.
It's continuing to happen.
Exactly. Now that question is not coming from curiosity, because that's already been established. Now that question is coming from straight up exhaustion.
Right. And the reality is that it's not only coming from that position, it's coming from just a place of trying to understand and survive.
Mm-hmm.
Back to that survival mode that we spoke about early on, right?
That's
but after
right.
the fifth or sixth or seventh shift, it just becomes, do I even have the will within me to try to figure this out again? Do I care enough to want to put myself through that?
Absolutely. At this stage, when folks are just exhausted from all the change, this is where there can be a disconnect for leaders. On the surface, everything looks fine. But underneath, much like an iceberg, energy is lower amongst the team, engagement is dimmed, and it's less authentic. And people stop going above and beyond. They might still be operating in that safe space where they're not really sure.
And when that happens, people just intrinsically just shut off. They shut down, they disengage, they stop asking questions. Not because, I suppose, they understand everything at this point and they're just like, oh, I know I'm not going to ask questions, but really because they just don't have the capacity, mentally, physically, or otherwise, to just keep on recalibrating and reshifting their brain. And I remember as a leader looking at my team and just thinking, oh my God, you all are burned out. Like, you are all, you're done, right? We all just need a moment of normality where we can actually find our rhythm, find our feet, find our flow, get good at doing what we're good at doing.
It also makes me think about when we have change in the workplace, that's just one area of life where things are changing. There could be change in personal life. There could be change in your physical health. There could be change in your familial structure, whatever the changes are outside of work, are then compiling on top of this constant state of change that you're managing at work. So here's the bold take.
Pause. Sorry. Wait, whoa, whoa,
Oh,
whoa. Before
you
your bold
have
take,
do it.
Cassandra, I'm so
I'm ready.
sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Can I
Tell
hear
us.
hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yay! The table's turned. Oh, it feels
Yay.
good when you do it. I hadn't realized how good it felt. I know
Isn't
why
it
you
pretty?
do it so often. That's amazing.
Thank you. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I feel like I'm a giver, not a taker now. I'm so sorry. And I don't know why I just said that. Can I say something? Add something into your
Please.
personal life.
Always.
Going outside, not your personal life. I'm not going to talk about your personal life on the podcast, but about personal life generally, and how that impacts on people's ability to change and their ability to adapt. Something that we say at Figure Eight, and my team all know that I say this all of the time, constantly to them, is that we are humans first, employees second, always, full stop. And I want to share that with our audience because I believe this to my absolute core, that we are humans first, employees second, always, full stop, no change. And as a leader, especially as a new leader, getting good at being able to get people to adapt to change, to embrace change, to understand change within your team, you first have to understand them, and that the change that you're putting on them might not be the only change that is going on in their life at that point. So I'm really, really glad that you brought that up, because I fundamentally believe that teams are more successful when we understand that the people we're leading are not employees, they are human beings with lots of other things going on.
Ewan, can I get a hell yeah?
Cassandra. Hell yeah! Wow. Yeah, it definitely feels better when you do the other way around. Yeah. Okay,
I love
good.
it.
I love that. Thanks so much.
So that's going to be hard to top because that is so freaking brilliant.
I just want everyone to know that Cassandra just changed the subject very quickly. So
no, I love it. That's such an important statement, and it's going to be hard to transition back now because that was just like such a mic drop moment and so important. Don't apologize. We need mic drop moments. They're amazing.
Thank you very much. Typical Ewan taking us off on a tangent. What would any of our audience have guessed?
The bold take then, folks, is
you want to keep us going, move us on. Go on.
Yeah. So let's talk about the boldness in this bit. Okay. Change fatigue is not resistance. It actually looks like just quiet compliance, where folks just kind of shrink down, shrink away when they're not, as Ewan said, valued as humans first and employees second.
Love that. Yeah, that's so good. Great summary of that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that quiet compliance concept. It's important.
Yeah, because adaptability at this stage of the change burnout cycle is not about helping people understand the change. It's about helping them sustain through the change. So the best leaders, they actually create moments where nothing changes. Nothing. And then folks can just sit, relax, and breathe for a minute. They reinforce what's not shifting and gives people space to catch their breath. You spoke earlier about when you were a new leader, how, and you and so many others want to just do so much. And in those moments, folks can feel overwhelmed, but taking a step back and remembering, like, we need to recalibrate so we can sustain and just have moments where we exist and thrive as we are. That's where power comes in.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. It's that kind of concept of, if you feel like everything's moving all the time, the foundation feels so unstable. Like you don't have
Mm-hmm.
anything to really ground upon and stand on firmly. So giving people, as a leader, giving people that really stable environment, just even if it's not forever, just at least for enough time to allow people to plant their roots and be able to go, okay, I know what I'm doing at this point and I'm
Yes.
ready. I've got my change battery is charged up and I'm ready to take on a change. I
Mm-hmm.
think is so important.
Absolutely. When we connect both of these conversations, new leadership and constant change, it all comes back to the same question. What just changed, and what does that mean for me? When
Mm-hmm.
we talk about new leadership, that question revolves around people asking that question so they can find direction, so they can get their footing in that new reality. When we talk about this constant change and burnout, that question serves to help people protect their energy. Great leaders do not and should not ignore this question of what just changed and what does that mean for me. They should answer it
Mm-hmm.
clearly, consistently, and with intention.
Absolutely. I love that.
Thank you. Now, before we close the Speakeasy doors for this week, here is Friday's Courage Challenge. This
I feel like
week,
it needs to have a jingle, Cassandra. I feel like we need a, like, it's
yeah,
the Friday Courage Challenge.
ba-da-da! I like it.
Okay.
Okay, that's really
I'll
good.
not remember the jingle next week, though. That's the only thing. So
It'll
it's
be
going to be a
different every
different
week.
Courage Challenge.
I like it. This week, just don't communicate the change and say, this is what's changing. Answer the question that your team is asking themselves in their head over and over again. What just changed? And what does that mean for me? And when you're doing that, be specific. What stays the same? Identify what shifts and identify what they should focus on right now. And that will completely empower the team to get on board with the new leadership and not feel that change burnout. A win-win.
Mm-hmm. I love a win-win. I love a win-win. And I think that this is a win-win that every new leader should definitely consider. Because when people don't have to guess, they can actually adapt. And that is a good place for them to be. And if this feels like over communication, then that's good. Probably exactly what your team needs, right?
Absolutely. In times of change, communication is key.
Absolutely.
As we wrap, if you're curious how I empower teams and individuals to unleash their hidden firepower and to live boldly and authentically, find me on the socials. I'm at Cassandra Sparks, YOU, on all the channels.
And she does. She sparks you.
That's the point. Thank
you.
you. I know, right?
And if you want to take your workplace learning programs from bland to bloody brilliant, then follow Figary Learning at Figary, Figary Learning on all the socials, all of them, every single one of them. Because Laura, my fabulous executive operations coordinator, who is
We love
the
Laura.
absolute bomb, spends so much time putting all of this great content up there. I want people to like it. Okay? I want you to like the posts. Don't do it for me. Do it for Laura.
Do it for Laura.
And also follow me. Yeah, do it for Laura, everybody. And great leadership content. And then follow me for great leadership content as well, because Laura also posts that too. So it's worth a follow and a share. I record it, and she does the glamorous task of putting it on there. So I appreciate her, because if anyone knows anything about Ewan Ling, it's that he don't do social media. So go on and find me. Find me at Ewan, EWAN, Riccio Ling, RICCIOLAING, ABCDEFG. Have a great day. Over to you, Cassandra.
What a great name. Whew.
I tell you what, my name was difficult enough to start with, and then I got married. Thank you so much to the Riccios. Shout out.
Shout out to the Riccios and the Langs. All of
And the
them.
links too. Yeah, God.
All of
Oh,
them.
that'd be really bad if I gave a
Yep.
shout out to my in-laws and didn't give
Yeah.
a shout out to my family. So sorry about this.
Yes.
Not that they listen to this. It's not a chance. And if they do listen to this, they didn't get to this state. They got to about 2 minutes in and were like, "Oh my God, he loves the sound of his own voice."
Amazing. And
Cassandra, for the love of all that is good in the world, please close the conversation.
yeah,
Quick,
let
my finger is over the stop.
let us not forget that you can message either of us on the socials to learn more about our amazing, sparkling fun shop called Own the Room, Tell Your Story, where you build presence, confidence, and storytelling that actually lands, sticks, and matters. Folks, if this conversation sparked something for you, share it with someone who needs a seat at our Speakeasy table. We will see you back here next Friday. Same Speakeasy, same sparks.
Bye.
Bye.